You're here because you're tired of mushy, bland vegetables, right? Today I'm showing you the absolute easiest way to get perfectly caramelized, crispy edged roasted vegetables every single time. First, we're going to start with the Brussels sprouts. You want to take off those little butt ends, cut them in half, and then take the outer leaf off. This will give you the cleanest and the best tasting part of the Brussels sprout anyways. So cut those all up and get them put aside. I like to keep a waste basket next to me, and all that stuff is going to go into the compost heap. When I said to cut it in half, make sure you're cutting it in half lengthwise. You'll see why later. The way we're going to lay these on the sheet pan, they're going to go best that way, and they're going to hold together. If you cut it in half widthwise, all your leaves are just going to fall apart. Lengthwise will keep them together. Trust me. Next, we're going to cut up a simple orange carrot. I like to peel mine, but you don't have to do this. The important part on the carrot is to cut that into consistent width sizes. You're going to want to be pretty small because carrots don't cook very fast. Next, we're going to add a parsnip to this. I like to peel this as well. This is for color and flavor. Parsnips are delicious. If you've never had one, go get one and add it. You're going to want that to be about the same width as the carrot also. Red onions make a beautiful presentation on this. You're going to take that outer layer of onion paper off, and then you're just going to cut this into eighths. Very easy. You can break those up now or break them up later. I like to add a green bell pepper, red bell pepper, or yellow bell pepper. It doesn't matter what color. They all kind of taste the same, although green bell peppers are a little bitter, and I like that. This is a good combination with all these other vegetables together. A nice big sweet potato or golden sweet potato is a great addition to this as well. Although it's going to cook a little slower, so you're going to want to make sure that this is cut consistent with your carrot and your parsnip. I like to cut these into almost like a chip size. I like to cut that little end off first so that I get a nice flat surface. That way my potato's not rolling around as I'm slicing it. And you don't have to keep everything so close together, but it makes this last chop where I chop them all in half a lot easier. To add another green element, I'm going to add a zucchini in here. These cook fairly quickly, at least a lot more quickly than the potato does, so you can leave those in bigger chunks. Now I'm cutting up some button mushrooms. Again, you want to take that little stem off and then just cut those in half. Those will shrink down a lot and they'll add a lot of moisture. I really love garlic. I think we all do. I like to add these as whole cloves. So I took a whole head of garlic, smashed it flat, and then I peeled all the paper off of it. Specifically after these have roasted and become browned a little bit with that oil on them. Magnificent. Once we have all our vegetables cut up, peeled, chopped up, ready to go on our pan, we're going to start with our coating. We're going to start with about a quarter cup of olive oil, salt, pepper. Oil and salt are the two most important things that you can add to this, and I'll tell you why. The oil coating on the entire surface of the vegetable is going to allow the heat to penetrate. There's some science behind it, but essentially the oil fills up all those little nooks and crannies, and it transfers the heat better into the vegetable. So with that salt and pepper, some oil, I did olive oil, and then I did about a quarter cup of avocado oil, which is a little bit lighter. Then I add about another tablespoon of salt. The salt being the second or first most important ingredient. And that is because the salt will help caramelize and draw the moisture out of those vegetables, allowing those to crisp up, caramelize, and become delicious. You can see I just put a little bit of oil on the bottom of that parchment-lined paper, and then I put all my vegetables out, broke those onions up a bit, and then just generally gave them a good mix. We can spread all of our oil mixture over, make sure everything gets coated nice and evenly. I might have missed saying this, but you saw me chop up some rosemary. The rosemary's not 100% necessary, but gives it a really great flavor as well, and adds some bits of color to it. Now we're going to get back to those Brussels sprouts. As you can see, I put a little bit of oil underneath them, a little bit of salt and pepper. I'm going to toss those up good, and I'm going to put those Brussels sprouts with the flat side down. This is important. It'll help them be crispy and delicious. I'm going to put some of my other veggies on that tray with it, just so my veggies aren't too crowded on the other one. At this point, or a little before, you should get your oven preheating to about 400 degrees Fahrenheit. You're going to cook your vegetables for 20 minutes, and then you're going to turn your oven down to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. Give all your vegetables a good toss and flip over, and get those back in the oven for another 20 minutes at least. Neither the fresh basil or the lemon is 100% necessary, but sure adds a nice touch of brightness and freshness to it. So you're going to give those vegetables another toss after 20 minutes. You're going to see that these have started to brown. They're looking beautiful and delicious. I spread my basil over the top of it. Then I added my Brussels sprouts and all my vegetables to one pan. Plating this is really easy. I just added my vegetables to a bowl, a little bit of balsamic vinegar, some feta cheese, little drizzle of some oil, and I enjoyed this. These came out perfectly caramelized, crispy on the edges, not mushy, most important part.